My dear students, in this lesson, we are going to see about food security and nutrition. What is food? Food is defined as any substance that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Food security would denote a person's ability to eat enough, stay active, and lead a healthy life. What is food security? The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization defines food security as follows. Food security exists when all people at all times have physical, social, and economical access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Basic components of food and nutrition security. There are three basic components of food, nutrition, and security. They are availability of food, access to food, and absorption of food. Availability and access to food grains. Food security for people in a country is not only dependent on the quantum of food available but also on the availability of people to purchase or access food and to stay in appropriate health environment. Food security of people is also related to a country's overall development process. This Green Revolution was born in the country, paving way for self-sufficiency in food grains production. Increased food grain production was made possible by an increased area cultivated with HYV of rice and wheat, as also an increase in the yield of these major cereal crops. Public distribution system. Tamil Nadu has adopted an universal PDS. The rest of the states in India had a targeted PDS. Under universal PDS, all the family ration card holders are entitled to the supply from PDS. Both the union and the state governments subsidized the supplies distributed through PDS. The level and quantum of subsidy also varied across states. The NFSA covers 50% of urban households and 75% of the rural households. These households are known as priority households, identified based on a set of criteria. Priority households of this country now have the right to food supply through PDS. The union government supplies rice at the rate of Rs 3 per kg, wheat at the rate of Rs 2 per kg, and millets at the rate of Rs 1 per kg under NFSA. Purchasing power. Purchasing power is the value of a currency expressed in terms of amount of goods or services that one unit of money can buy. Price increases, purchasing power declines, and vice versa. Now we will see what are the factors affecting purchasing power. First one, overpopulation. The population growth rate in India is high as 1.7 per thousand. Large population leads to increasing demand, but supply was not equal to demand. So the normal price level will be going and higher. So it affects purchasing power, especially in rural population. Increasing prices of essential goods. By steady increase in the prices of essential goods, there is continuous rise in the prices which erodes the purchasing power and adversely affect the poor people. Demand for goods. When demand for goods increases, the price of goods increases then the purchasing power is affected. Price of goods affect the value of currency. When the price increases, the purchasing power decreases, and finally, the value of currency decreases. Production and supply of goods. The production and supply of goods decline, the price of goods increases, then the purchasing power is affected. Poverty and inequality. There exists a huge economic disparity in Indian economy. The proportion of income and assets owned by the top 10% of India goes on increasing. This has led to an increase in the poverty level in the society. Generally, purchasing power is affected by poverty and unequal distribution of wealth also. Agricultural policy in India. The new agricultural policy based on export of agricultural goods was announced by the central government in 2018. This policy states that the government has decided to remove export restrictions on most of the organic and processed agricultural products. The following are some of the important objectives of India's agricultural policy. First one, raising the productivity of inputs. One of the important objectives of India's agricultural policy is to improve the productivity of inputs so purchased like HYV seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation projects, etc. Raising value added per hectare. Agriculture policy is to increase per hectare value added by raising the productivity of agriculture in general and productivity of a small and marginal holding in particular. Protecting the interest of poor farmers. Agricultural policy is proposed to protect the interests of poor and marginal farmers by abolishing intermediaries through land reforms, expanding institutional credit support in poor farmers, etc. Modernizing agricultural sector. Here, the policy support includes the introduction of modern technology in agricultural operations and application of improved agricultural inputs like HYV seeds, fertilizers, etc. Environmental degradation. Agricultural policy of India has set another objective to check environmental degradation of natural base of Indian agriculture. Removing bureaucratic obstacles. The policy has set another objective to remove bureaucratic obstacles on the farmers, cooperative societies, and self-help institutions so that they can work independently. Nutrition and health status in Tamil Nadu. Nutrition plays a crucial role in human health and well-being. At the national level, despite higher economic growth, improvements in human development indicators like nutrition levels of the population have been unacceptably slow. A large number of Indian children are stunted. A substantial number of Indian children and women are underweight, anemic, and suffer from micronutrient deficiencies. To address these concerns, the central and the state governments have been channelizing substantial resources into various health and nutrition schemes and programs like Integrated Child Development Services, midday meals, reproductive and child health programs, and National Rural Health Mission. However, an effective scaling up of these efforts is required to mitigate the incidence of undernutrition in the country. Tamil Nadu has played a pioneering role in bringing about significant changes in the health and nutrition status of children under 6 years of age. Pregnant women, lactating mothers, and adolescent girls. The government of Tamil Nadu's successive budget outlays for nutrition and health are the highest in the country. The performance of ICDS scheme and Pratchit Talaivar MGR Nutritious Meal Scheme in Tamil Nadu are considered one of the best in the country. Important ongoing schemes in Tamil Nadu. Under Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy Maternity Benefit Scheme, financial assistance to the tune of Rs 12,000 is being disbursed to poor pregnant women. Second point, the Chief Minister's Comprehensive Health Insurance Scheme was launched in the state in 2011-12 with the aim to provide universal health care to all by providing free medical and surgical treatments. Third one, Tamil Nadu Health Systems Projects has launched ambulance service free of cost. Fourth point, the school health program emphasizes on providing comprehensive healthcare services to all students studying in government and government-aided schools. Fifth point, the National Leprosy Eradication Program is being implemented in the state with the aim to detect to provide sustained regular treatment to all leprosy patients. The last one, this is very important. Some nutrition programs in Tamil Nadu. Pratchit Talaivar MGR Nutrition Meal Program, National Program of Nutritional Support to Primary Education, General ICDS projects and World Bank Assisted Integrated Child Development Services, Pradhan Mantri Gramayog Yojana Scheme, Tamil Nadu Integrated Nutrition Program, Midday Meal Program. Minimum Support Price. Minimum support price is a price fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by considering various costs involved in the cultivation of that crop. After announcing the MSP, the state will open procurement centers in places where these crops are widely grown. However, the farmers are free to sell in the open market if they get a better price for their crop produce. On the other hand, if the open market price is lower than the MSP, the farmers would get an assured price by selling their produce to the FCI. Buffer stock. What is buffer stock? Buffer stock is the stock of food grains, namely wheat and rice, procured by the government through the Food Corporation of India. The FCI purchases wheat and rice from the farmers in the states where there is surplus production. Buffer stock is done to distribute food grains in the deficit areas and among the poorer strata of the society at the price lower than the market price, also known as the issue price. This also helps resolve the problem of shortage of food during adverse weather conditions or during the periods of calamity.